Jack Dorsey, the bearded Twitter founder, had an idea when his friend couldn't sell a piece of item that he had because he couldn't accept credit card payments. Remember back in the days, that was in 2009, when some vendors would tell you, sorry, cash only. So at that moment, Jack created Square, a small device that allows everyone to accept credit card payments. It made the process a lot easier. They raised around $600 million, and then they went public in 2015 so that everyone could buy their stock. They also did something. They bought around $50 million worth of Bitcoin, which rose all the way to $250 million, and it went down to $100 million in 2023. Nonetheless, when Dorsey quit Twitter, Square was rebranded to Block, and they've been growing ever since then. But if we go back in time, they had a pitch deck that helped them raise over $200 million. So let's check it out. They start with the old logo, which is on the shape of their device. It's quite good in terms of design. And the simplest way to make money, Square. The Square proposition, huge market opportunity in mobile payments, inspiring experience, team. So it feels very old. When you look at it, it feels very old. These charts are very outdated. And I would say the people would just be interested in the numbers, readers. So simple pricing, 2.7% per swipe. It's one of the most important questions that anyone's going to ask Square if they're interested in investing. How much do you take per swipe? And free apps. So these are all the features and what Square is putting on the table. Management team, strong management team at that stage. And it just boasts the fact that Jack is the co-founder and chairman of Twitter, along with the other guys, and how they're experienced in managing different countries, Fortune 500 companies over the years. The market, it's one of the most important questions you have to ask. Are they going to mention how the market is growing? Payment processing has always been a market that's growing over the years. At that time, it was kind of, you're transitioning from cash payments to payment processing. So I think they had to show how growing it is, and I believe it actually grew higher than this. I can't validate, I didn't check it out very well, but the fact that they're looking at mobile payments as a massively rapidly growing unpenetrated market, and then it would reach in 2015 to 214, I would assume, billion. They didn't actually say billions, yes, exactly. So I think the market grew beyond that because a lot of big market players entered the market as well. I can validate that. Opportunity, market changes, and Square's positioning. The design is quite outdated. It looks like it was done with Microsoft PowerPoint a very long time ago, but it's not really about the design, it's about whether people are going to invest in them. Mostly what I am interested in this deck about is the traction. So the product, and then they showcase their devices, the Square devices. It was very cool to be able to have a device connected to your iPhone that would just use a credit card and takes a credit card payment. When I heard of it back then, it was really cool. So the product, they mention a little bit of the technical details, consumer desires, vendor desires, and how it's connected to all of those. The value to the user, and then they just compare them with traditional card processing firms and online card processing. I think the percentage is what the costs of it is one of the biggest unique selling points, but the ease of use. If I had to bet, I would say the ease of use, because it's very easy. You just connect it to your phone or your iPad and just use it instantly. Customer acquisition, and now they start saying they're acquiring 100,000 customers per month. Small businesses, independent workers, individuals selling goods. That was the target consumer. I had a friend in the US who used to sell print-on-demand t-shirt shops or print-on-demand shirts, and he told me how fascinated he was of Square and how he uses them all the time. Competition and defensibility. They are putting themselves in a chart showcasing where they are in the direct competitors as well as the emerging market near field communications. And I think Google Pay and Apple Pay actually expanded more ever since then, and they are making it much of a challenge for Square. But when I use Apple Pay, I don't really have a problem with Square as well. I could use it because the vendor, it's up to the vendor at the end of the day, not me. And more and more I actually see payment processing, like the payment processing devices from banks. So they must have also competed or starting to compete in a different methodology. I'm not sure because Square's market is in the US and I'm not based in the US, so I'm sure that they have a big customer base at that stage. Financial model and projections, that's what really matters at this stage, because you're talking about a market that we all know is good, but how much money are you making with your new device, with your new cool device? So in millions, and they payment processed per day, 2011. Some of these are projections, and I'm not sure if they actually made any money at that moment. But the investment is 20 million. This is the assumption. So they build a financial model based on projections, and I think the payment processed per day, I think their projections were actually not on spot because they made a lot more money, or a lot money in general, and they invested in Bitcoin. They went into another whole world. And then finally, they say, why invest now? Additional investments will generate outsized returns due to growth prospects. It's just pushing people to invest at the moment in this deck, and that at that series, proposed Series C, they were gonna get, like at the exit, which is the next slide, they're showing that you're gonna make a lot of money from the exit, and I'm sure probably a lot did when they went public. And then the appendix, and then they just put more financials in the appendix. We're not gonna go through them, but they also have a little bit of things about the market, which I'm interested in, and they would just put the financial model in more details. Nowadays, that's not really a problem because Square turned into Block, and Block became a public company, so you can actually check their financials at any moment. So that's overall a deck that's been used a long time ago, from my understanding, because also, like a lot of sources online say that this is the pitch deck that was used. I can't really confirm at the end of the day because it wasn't really sent by Jack Dorsey or something, but it does look like something that could have been pitched at that moment. So that was overall the deck. Ever since then, the payment processing market just boomed, with the likes of Revolut, Stripe, Wise, and many others. Although these are mainly online, and Square or Block focuses more about offline payment processing, still the market is growing, and Block are making revenue year after year. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the deck, and have a wonderful day.